Psalm chapter 16 verses 9 to 10 is a beautiful and inspiring passage that speaks of the confidence and trust we can have in God's protection and provision. These verses remind us that even in difficult times, we can find joy and peace in knowing that God is with us and will never abandon us. Life can be challenging at times, and we all face difficulties and obstacles that can make us feel discouraged and defeated. But as believers, we have the assurance of God's love and protection, and we can take comfort in the fact that He will never leave us nor forsake us. When we read Psalm chapter 16 verses 9 to 10, we see a picture of a person who is filled with joy and confidence, even in the midst of trials and tribulations. The writer of this psalm speaks of his heart being glad and his innermost self rejoicing, and he goes on to say that his body will dwell confidently in safety. This kind of confidence and assurance doesn't come from our circumstances or our own strength. It comes from knowing that God is with us, and that He has promised to be our refuge and our strength. When we trust in Him, we can face any challenge with confidence and courage, knowing that we are never alone. As we reflect on Psalm chapter 16 verses 9 to 10, there are several motivational words that can inspire us to live our lives with purpose and passion, even in the midst of difficulties. Joy. The writer of this psalm speaks of his heart being glad and his innermost self rejoicing. This kind of joy comes from knowing that we are loved by God, and that He is with us always. When we focus on His love and His promises, we can find joy in even the most challenging circumstances. Confidence. The writer of this psalm says that his body will dwell confidently in safety. This kind of confidence comes from knowing that God is our refuge and our strength, and that we can trust in Him to protect us and provide for us. When we have confidence in God, we can face any challenge with courage and strength. Trust. The writer of this psalm says that he will not be abandoned to Sheol, the place of the dead. This kind of trust comes from knowing that God is faithful, and that He will never leave us nor forsake us. When we trust in God, we can have peace and assurance, even in the midst of trials and tribulations. Protection. The writer of this psalm says that God will not allow His Holy One to undergo decay. This kind of protection comes from knowing that God is watching over us, and that He will keep us safe from harm. Purpose. As believers, we have a purpose and a calling in life. When we trust in God and follow His plan for our lives, we can live with passion and purpose, knowing that we are making a positive difference in the world. The writer of this psalm was focused on God's purpose for his life, and he found joy and satisfaction in serving Him. Faithfulness. God is faithful, and He will never let us down. When we trust in Him, we can have peace and assurance, knowing that He is with us always. The writer of this psalm had faith in God's faithfulness, and he found comfort and strength in that assurance. Guidance. God is our guide and our helper. When we trust in Him, He will lead us and guide us through even the most difficult times. The writer of this psalm trusted in God's guidance, and he found peace and assurance in knowing that God was with him every step of the way. Psalm chapter 16 verses 9 to 10 reminds us that we can find joy, confidence, trust, protection, purpose, faithfulness, and guidance in God. Let us take comfort in the fact that God will never abandon us, and that He has a plan and a purpose for our lives. May we live our lives with passion and purpose, trusting in God's love and provision every step of the way.